All right, we're back on Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Scott, joined right now by Ruben Olguin from Melson Realty in Porterville and Visalia. Our friends from the South Valley. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Thanks for coming. I'm fine, thank you. I'm enjoying some of those. We had the folks from Champion Raisins on a little earlier, and I've been munching on their sour raisins. They're delicious.
Delicious.
Yep.
Delicious.
You're down in Ag Country.
Yes.
Down in Tulare County.
Yes, Tulare County. Very much ag country there.
But we're talking real estate today.
Talking real estate today, and the market is really good, very brisk. Summertime, nice and warm, lots of buyers out there, lots of sellers. Probably it's shifted in the last 6 to 8 weeks where we have more sellers than we have buyers. So it's
because prices have been going up.
Prices have been going up, but inventory has been going up proportionately.
More people putting their homes on the market.
More people putting their homes on the market. Their confidence is back, so people feel that it's a really good time to put their house on the market.
Yeah, and I've heard that when a person puts their home on the market, they're often getting multiple offers and even offers above what they're asking.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It just depends on the market segment. If you're in the affordable market segment, say $85,000 to $175,000, then you put a house on the market and you price it right, yes, you definitely will get multiple offers on it.
Probably from an investor who's looking to turn it into a rental, or?
Probably about 50-50, because from the investor's standpoint, it has to pencil, which means they're not going to have a whole lot of out-of-pocket every month, that it's going to take care of its own costs. So if it pencils, yeah, a lot of investors are out there that are buying those type of properties.
But you said you've been seeing a lot of investors looking at the Valley lately.
Absolutely. I'm surprised every day when I get phone calls about how much money is out there right now, and a lot of it is exchange money, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, where they've sold a piece of property elsewhere and they're rolling it into something else, and they only have a certain window to do it in. And those are always fun because you have a certain amount of time. You have to get the property identified, in escrow, and closed within a certain amount of time.
Wow. What is that window usually? Is it several months?
Once the escrow closes on the house they sell, 45 days to name the property and 180 days to close it. But when you're dealing with different amount of money, if you have $1 million and you have to spend $1 million in Visalia, that'll buy you a lot of property.
Buy all of Visalia.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So I've sold many units.
I bet you like it when somebody walks into the office and says, "I have $1 million to spend."
Absolutely, that makes my day, makes my year. Yes, absolutely.
Does that happen very often? Or?
Fortunately, in the last 12 months, twice.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've had a good year.
Were you able to find them?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. All right. We were talking before we went on about flippers,
yes,
house flippers, and it's been going on here in the Valley, but you say now it's kind of winding down. Why is that?
Well, yes. I worked with some investors for the last 3 years, and we flipped many properties.
They come in looking for cheap properties they can fix up and sell at a profit.
Correct. But what's happened is we've gone through all that foreclosed property inventory.
That's cleaned out.
That's pretty much cleaned out. It's down. It's probably about maybe 3% of our market segment, where before it was 70% of our market was foreclosed properties. So we've gone through all that inventory. So now all those flippers, there's not the inventory to pick up. There's not the houses out there that you could buy at a bargain and make your margin on them. So the people that are still doing it, their margins are very slim. Before, when I started doing this 3 years ago, they were working on a 25% margin. Now, lucky if we can get a 8 or 9% return. So it's a little bit more. It's better than the bank.
Yeah, a lot better than the bank.
But it's just finding the property.
But there's risk in there too.
There's risk in there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You never know what you're going to be able to sell it for when you finish flipping it.
And that's the idea. That's, as a good agent, you have to have the eye and the knowledge and the background to be able to identify what's going to be a good buy, because that's what's important. You have to buy it right to make some money on it.
Sure. You told me you love working with vintage homes.
Yes.
Here in the Tower District, we have a lot of vintage homes.
Absolutely.
And you said there's areas in Visalia that also have a lot of these older type, homes from the 30s, 40s, 50s?
Well, Visalia started building in the late 1800s, and there's quite a few Victorians, but mostly in the teens and the 20s is when you saw the California bungalows being built, and there's some French Normandy-style houses, and then it goes all the way up to the mid-century moderns, which I love all of them. And there's the historic district in Visalia that started in the very, very beginning in Visalia.
What is the historic district? Is that
Historic
along
district
Main Street,
runs
or-
between from Main Street north to almost Houston, and then it would go east and west from about Garden to probably Jacob, right around there.
Is that a designated district?
Yes, there actually
like
is.
the Tower
There's-
District here in
there's-
Fresno?
There actually is.
What's
a
it called in
historic district.
Visalia?
It's called the Visalia Historic District.
Visalia Historic District.
And I'm very fortunate that I'm on the Visalia Historic Preservation Board. So anytime anything that is brought to the board, anytime anybody wants to do any changes on those properties, they have to get the approval of the Historic Preservation Board. And our function mainly is to help people renovate houses in the historic district to the original vernacular so that they look correct, period correct, and don't go too far off of them.
So if somebody wants to come in and paint the house orange, you'll probably say no.
Well, we have no control over color.
Oh, really?
But the gentleman you were talking to before about windows are a big deal because there's all different types of windows. There's single hung, double hung, there's 6/0s, and all these different kinds of forms. And when they say they want to do something, and that's a big change out that people want to do, they want to make their houses more energy efficient. But we want to make sure that the windows look very similar to what they originally looked.
I wonder if they make those double and triple pane windows in that old style.
Yes.
They do?
Yes, they do.
So that's the kind of things you're looking out
Yeah,
for.
that's the kind of thing. So the house keeps its aesthetic, the original aesthetic, so that.
But they can
you don't
paint it
lose
orange if they want
They
to.
can paint it orange. We don't have any control over paint color.
Well, that
Yes.
doesn't seem right.
Well,
You have a beautiful old district, and then there's one orange house right in the middle of the block. That's,
yeah, but there's a few of them that are the Victorians that are the old painted ladies, and those are multicolor houses.
Sure.
So, there's a couple there that have purple and orange and green and blue all mixed together on one house.
well,
But it's a lot of fun.
I have a rental house here in Fresno that's in a condominium complex, and you can't touch anything on that building without the homeowners association
Yes.
saying yes, yes, no, no, yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes. But Visalia has some really nice vintage home districts. There's the historic district, and there's also Old Green Acres that has beautiful old homes on larger lots, and then there's Beverly Glen that has larger, older homes that are built in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So there's a lot of beautiful ranch houses in there. And then I'm a huge fan of mid-century moderns, which are the Frank Lloyd Wright style houses. And those are very, very neat places,
Yeah.
and very neat to be involved with those kind.
A lot of modern houses, you can put your fist right through the wall. They're so thin. Those older vintage homes, those
Yeah.
are solid construction. They'll last forever, probably.
And it's definitely a different kind of buyer for those type of houses too, because a traditional house, somebody's looking at that house and they're looking at the investment value. Somebody that's buying a vintage or a historic home, it's all emotion, all emotion. They're looking at it from the aspect of the beauty of the house, of the style of the house, and they just get involved with the emotion of it. They don't care what the condition is. They just say, I have to have that house. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than a traditional buyer.
I agree. All right, Ruben, thank you so much. Melson Realty in Porterville and Visalia. Website?
Ruben at rubenolguin.com.
Okay, and are you on Facebook?
Yes, Facebook, same thing.
Same thing?
Same thing.
Phone
yes.
number?
559-280-9384.
All kinds of ways you can reach Ruben at
Yes.
Melson Realty in the South Valley. Even though they're in Porterville and Visalia, you told me you can sell houses pretty much anywhere.
The entire valley.
In the entire
Well, entire
valley.
state of California.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Ruben, thank you so much.
Thank you, too.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
We'll be back with more on Central Valley Talk.